All right, thank you for joining and welcome to the Align Product Vision webinar. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to our CEO, Doug Wallner.
Thank you. Again, welcome to our Product Vision webinar. My name is Doug Wallner. I'm the CEO of Align Technologies. Before we begin, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for your business and let you know how much our team appreciates being able to serve you all. At Align, it's very important that we reach out and listen to what our customers have to say and incorporate that feedback into the product we deliver. So while we share information and talk about our future plans, a large portion of this call will be dedicated to taking questions and listening to your feedback so we can ensure our product plans are on point with your needs. Our core purpose from our one-page plan is aligning companies and their people on their journey to success. We understand that our success as a business is very much tied to your success in your business. If our product can help you better achieve your goals and priorities, then we are serving our core purpose. Before I turn you over to Joey, I just wanted to take a quick moment to update you all on the status of our business. Align is headquartered in New Orleans, Louisiana, and now totals 18 employees. We now have an internal, dedicated team of technology experts that includes software programming, quality assurance, and product management, all focused on improving and enhancing the product to deliver on behalf of you, our customer. You may have noticed that we're now typically on a monthly release schedule for software improvements. We deploy the agile method of software development at Align, which leads to more frequent and constant improvement in the software product. We hope you are enjoying the last several months of software improvements, which included both new features and new workflows. We have gotten feedback about the usability of the software, and over the last several months, we have begun to address that issue with new workflows, and will continue that work with each new release. In addition to our tech team, we also have a dedicated team of customer success and technical support folks here to help you adopt and successfully implement our product inside your business. I'd invite you to reach out for any assistance you may need. We are here to help. Just again, reach out inside the software on the Contact Us button, and our team will be there to help you with all your needs. I'd like to now invite Joey Musing, our product manager, to take this webinar over and share our product plans for the remainder of 2019.
Thanks, Doug. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you taking the time and for your interest and support of the Align product. My name's Joey Musing. I'm the product lead at Align. I joined the company in November. At Align, I'm working on building our customer survey and feedback programs and defining our product strategy around solving your team's growth challenges. What we're doing right here especially is such an exciting aspect to my job, being able to get you all involved in the changes to the Align product based on the feedback I've been receiving. It's been great so far since I've joined Align to be able to talk to a lot of you, get to know what you and your teams do, and work together to solve problems to improve your strategic planning, communication, and execution habits. I'm looking forward to getting to know even more of you and involving you all in contributing to our vision. By the end of today's webinar, you should have a clear, broad overview of the vision for Align. This includes features you can expect to see, design and user experience improvements, and connections to your other tools. Over the last few months, our new team has been working hard to roll out some of these new features you've been asking for the most. Just as an example, users were asking for a way to quickly check the pulse of their company priorities and how their progress is trending. At the beginning of this year, we were excited to release our Company Priority Insights feature to address this feedback. We're excited to continue to add even more features like this based on what we hear from you. Today, I'm going to describe some of the other areas we'll be focusing on to make the Align product more valuable to you and your teams. I'm going to touch on large themes, but when possible, I'm also going to get into the weeds a little bit and talk about some specific features and improvements we'll be making around these themes. During this presentation, feel free to submit any questions you have. I'll be answering some of these questions at the end of the time. If there are questions we don't get to during this time, I'll be sure to follow up with you personally later on. Just once again, Align is here to help your teams succeed in their growth. All of these features we're going to be talking about are all based on common topics we've heard from you all directly. Making sure our users who rely on us to execute their strategy feel knowledgeable, heard, and empowered to be part of this process is very, very important to us. My team's main responsibility is to learn from all of you and make sure we're solving the problems that actually matter to your teams. So, first, I'm going to talk briefly about the broader vision for Align. These are just a couple high-level concepts that guide our strategic thinking into how we can make Align even more valuable for all of you. It's incredibly important that our users understand the way we think about our vision for the product, that you spend a lot of your valuable time using. Here's some of these guiding principles. First, Align should guide your team through the strategic planning process. We know a lot of you have coaches that also help guide you, but we think the Align product itself should also be naturally guiding you towards better business practices. We also believe that the more that your team uses Align and the more of your team can contribute and execute through Align, the more value you're going to get as a team. Align is here to make your communication channels and your information sharing more efficient. So using Align should mean that doubling your team size doesn't mean you have to double your meeting times, doesn't mean you have to double your time spent catching up, communicating, and sharing information on your most important priorities. Similarly, you shouldn't have to actually spend that much time every day in Align. Data entry should be simple, fast, and connected to all of your other workplace tools. The product will bubble up relevant insights and action items, so you're not wasting your time digging through reporting to figure out the most important thing you should be doing. Team leaders, similarly, should be able to measure their team's strategic progress at a high level in 2 minutes every morning over coffee and know immediately where they stand and where they can course correct. All team members should feel very empowered to contribute to their company's growth. They should have direct line of sight between their daily actions and their company's strategic goals and how they connect. They also should know that their actions are being recognized by the rest of the team. And lastly, team leaders should be able to transparently see how their team members are contributing to these growth goals and should be able to provide feedback and evaluation directly. These themes guide how we think about the Align product, and they're most important to us because they are collections of what we hear from all of you. From these themes, we're going to be focusing on 3 topics for the rest of the year in our feature development. I'm going to dig into each of these now and talk about some of the features within each bucket that you can expect from Align this year. If you have any particular interest in any of these areas or specific features, please let us know, and there's a lot we can do to get you more involved. The 3 specific areas we're going to be focusing on are features to support larger teams, team contribution and transparency, and insights and guidance. First, for larger teams, we believe that every team member, from the founder to the frontline employees, are crucial to executing your company's growth successfully. We believe the value you get from Align increases as more of your team is able to execute the same process. The next couple features will allow teams with more complex organizational structures that operate multiple physical locations or have more in-the-field employees to use Align more naturally in line with their team's existing processes. Align advocates transparency and open communication, but we also understand that larger companies sometimes need to be able to operate their strategic planning and priority execution in smaller private groups. This is one of the most common pieces of feedback we've been receiving from users about how we can make Align fit more naturally into their existing company structures. To handle these cases and this feedback, we're developing a team filters feature. This feature will allow smaller groups to have their own set of strategic planning documents and priorities within the context of the larger company. So these team planning items can be made public and be used simply to organize the team-specific work, or they can be made private, which means that only team members that belong to that specific team will have access to them. Team membership is going to be very flexible and easy to manage. Your definition of a team can really be whatever you want it to be. Just a couple of examples that we've heard from you is the leadership team, for example, can have their own one-page strategic plan that is private just to them. Or each regional office can have their own set of critical numbers set aside for revenue tracking, yet visible to everyone. Or if there's a temporary working group set up to explore a new sales opportunity, they can have their own set of priorities. All of these previous examples we heard directly from you in direct conversations or in NPS feedback. We're trying to be very mindful of keeping the definition of team as flexible as possible. We want you to define how you use these filters, when you use these filters, and how you make these filters usable within the larger organization. Managing these team level strategic items will just be as simple as tagging your one-page plans, your critical numbers, or your priorities with the appropriate team within the Align UI. You'll then be able to filter all of your reporting and all of your data at the team level. We've also heard a lot of questions recently asking for more objective measurements within Align to help evaluate how individual team members are contributing to the strategic goals, and also collectively how the whole team's performance is improving over time as you institute better business habits through Align. Today, we often encourage teams to use Align's features as the basis for one-on-one employee reviews. We've seen a lot of people use a combination of huddles and priority progress reporting as the basis for these quarterly meetings between an employee and their manager. As part of this, we've been asked a lot for a more standardized report card that can be used during these meetings. That'll help managers evaluate how their team members are performing against their assigned strategic priorities. We're also going to be improving the alignment checklist feature. So team members will be able to provide their own anonymous scores for alignment categories, such as, for example, information can move through the organization accurately and quickly, or employees can accurately articulate key components of the company's strategy. With that, team leaders will be able to take these aggregate results, review them over time, and easily be able to see how they can improve team alignment as they sort of journey through growing their team and executing their growth strategy. We really believe that frontline team members should feel just as empowered to contribute to their team's strategic growth as the company leadership. But we keep hearing over and over that team members are often on the road and they only have a short amount of time to make updates and read up on what the rest of the team is doing. So we're focusing really closely on ways we can improve the ease with which everyone can update their information and receive valuable insights and updates from Align. A lot of this focus is going to be narrowed in on improving our mobile app. So we're going to be adding spell check and improving formatted text. We're going to be adding alerts, notifications, and meeting summaries so that you're always aware of what's going on with your team wherever you are. Next topic is team contribution and transparency. So we believe that 100% of your team should be empowered to contribute to company goals. And this is a theme we hear a lot from you often as well. They should be aware of their most important action items, clear in how their work feeds up to collective goals, and confident that their accomplishments are being recognized by the rest of the team. I've heard a lot of positive stories from our users about how Align has improved their team dynamics by giving frontline employees direct line of sight into how their day-to-day actions are actually impacting company-wide strategy. So the next couple of features are all ways in which we're looking to amplify everyone's impact and keep them focused on the most important ways they can be contributing. We're designing a new consolidated view where you'll be able to manage all of your tasks, all of your stuffs, and all of your top to-dos for the day all in one location. You'll be able to search your other team members' action items and be able to see everything in one calendar view. This will also be available in the mobile app for if you're on the go. We started thinking about this because we've often got a lot of positive feedback about our top priorities calendar feature. So we think that this added functionality will make it even faster and easier to plan out your day with your most important next steps to drive your company strategy forward. We also think it's very important for every team member to be recognized for when they actually are contributing to the team's growth and success. I've had a lot of conversations with Align users about how they'd be even more motivated to document their daily tasks and contribute updates if they could really be sure that the rest of their team was seeing this information. So to that end, we're going to be working on a team accomplishments feed. What we're envisioning is if you complete an important task tied to a company initiative, if you make significant progress against one of your personal priorities, or if you unstick a teammate, you get a shout out on the feed. This feed will be available on the company dashboard. It will also be available to add to any huddle that you participate in. When team members have made progress against these priorities or completed important tasks, we also want to make sure that you're getting this information right away. We know you're often on the move and aren't going to have the time to search through Align for updates. We want to make sure the most important pieces of information about your team's goal progress gets to you quickly and easily. So we'll be adding more ways to customize your Align updates you receive through email and the mobile app. So just an example would be if you'll be able to receive email summaries for all of your huddles, and you'll be able to get a push notification in the morning of all of your tasks and action items that are due that day. These are just some of the ideas we've heard from you already, and we're very interested in hearing more about other valuable specific notifications you would want to receive. Last topic for today is insights and guidance. So we believe Align is much more than just a repository for your strategy docs and your day-to-day data entry. We're intently focused on ways that the Align product can guide you to more successful strategic planning and day-to-day insights about the short-term adjustments you can be making. We also understand that a full, insightful picture of your team's performance might require information from other tools to be integrated into Align, or that Align information is sent elsewhere. We've heard you loud and clear on this front, and we're looking at integrations and programmatic solutions to make that information transfer fast and easy. Something we've heard a lot is that you want to be able to check in on details of a topic you might vaguely remember was discussed in maybe last month's daily huddle. Or maybe you were on vacation and you want to check in if a topic of interest was actually mentioned while you were out. We're looking to make meeting updates in Align searchable and discoverable. You'll be able to search by keyword, team member, or within a specific huddle. We also understand that goal management in Align is just one part of your team's larger workflow. And often you might have overlap between tasks that are part of your project management software and tasks related to your strategic priorities within Align. We don't want you to have to do double work. Currently, we've built out task management integration with Google Tasks and Office 365. If you'd like more information on how to use these integrations, check out our FAQ page within Align on the topic, or please feel free to let us know and we'd be happy to give you a walkthrough personally. We're also looking to expand our footprint into more of the task management tools you use. We're looking into Asana, Trello, and a few others. These are the most common tools you've expressed interest in, but if we're missing some task management software that your teams use, don't hesitate to let us know. Similarly, a lot of teams are focused in on their sales and cash metrics as their most important critical numbers. No surprise there. Integrations with tools like Salesforce and QuickBooks is another area we're focused on, so that your team's top-line metrics are updated and top of mind in Align as you execute on your other strategic priorities. Again, these are the most common requests we've been getting for ingesting sales data, but let us know if you have other needs. Since your strategic priorities are just one part of the overall view of your team's work, we want to make it possible to quickly get those main Align metrics and information into your other tools. We're in the early stages of developing an Align API. This will allow you to integrate your Align priority metrics into your other internal dashboards or third-party software like Tableau, Datorama, or Power BI. And these are the 3 most common dashboard destination requests we've been hearing from you. For those who want to export Align data but don't want to wrangle with an API integration, or we haven't built out a native integration for you, we're also looking to publish the Align application on certain automation platforms such as Zapier. And last, we've gotten a lot of requests to push huddle information, summary information into your team's Slack channel of choice. So thanks so much for taking the time to listen in on our plans for Align. I hope this is giving you a clearer picture of the changes and improvements you can expect in Align for the rest of the year. These features are all a result of the feedback and engagement you've given us with Align, so we really appreciate the time you spent with us. Consider this just an overview and just the beginning. We're going to be sending out a follow-up survey later today. If you're particularly interested in any of the areas we've gone over, please let us know, and we can figure out ways to get you more involved. That engagement could take a couple of forms. I'm happy to have a one-on-one call with you to talk more detail so you can provide feedback and ask some more specific questions. I can include you in our update groups. What that means is when we have scheduling updates, design mock-ups we'd like you to review, or any updated news on certain features, we'll let you know first. You could also join one of our testing groups, which would give you early access to some beta versions of some of our features. And just more broadly, anytime you have questions, feedback, problems, don't hesitate to reach out to either me or your Align advisor. My email and phone number is right here on this slide, and we'll be sending out a recording of this presentation tomorrow, along with the survey and recap. Last thing we're going to be doing is answering some of the questions you've been contributing. Again, any we don't get to, I'm going to be following up with you directly. Thank you.
All right, let's jump into some of these questions. The first question is, will we be able to have priorities and critical numbers for and viewed by a restricted amount of users?
Good question. First, today, we do have a feature to make priorities private to a certain group of people. That feature is called Secure Priorities. What that allows you to do is take any given priority and choose a list of team members, and then it's only going to be visible to them. That priority will only be visible to them. Any reporting that references that priority will only be visible to them. I talked earlier about the team filters feature. Specifically for priorities, we're just looking to take that visibility feature and expand it out, make it a little more flexible, repeatable, easier to understand. I think it was critical numbers asked about too. Yeah, so for that team filters feature, that will apply to critical numbers as well. So today, critical numbers appear on your company and personal dashboard in Align. Every team will be allowed to have their own set of critical numbers. So you can toggle between the sales team's critical numbers, the operations team, the overall company critical numbers, and you can pick and choose within your team who is going to have access to that set. So yes, we are looking to expand the idea of personal critical numbers or smaller team critical numbers into the product via our team filters feature.
And as a follow-up, what about tasks?
Tasks. The way we're looking to include tasks in this idea of more security and visibility is if you have a task that is associated with a priority, that task will inherit the visibility of the priority. So back to the priority tag to the sales team, if there are specific tasks for specific team members on the sales team associated with that priority, only they will be able to see those tasks.
This question says, I'm not a developer. Will I be able to use the API to connect to platforms that you do not have a direct connection to?
In short, yes. I talked a little bit earlier when we were talking about integrations about a product called Zapier. So Zapier is an automation platform. What they basically do is they allow products to integrate into Zapier, and then once you're integrated, you can automate tasks between product A and product B in such a way that does not require coding skills or direct access to either of those products' APIs. So we use this a lot here in Align just for our kind of like day-to-day operations. Maybe just to paint the picture, one example is we run an NPS survey, so a user feedback survey that perhaps many of you have gotten already. I use Zapier to automate sharing that information. So I have an integration in Zapier that I created using, trust me, I have no coding skills. I created an integration between SurveyMonkey, which is where our surveys run through, and Slack. So whenever somebody responds to our survey, it immediately gets pushed to our team's Slack channel. So we can read the information right away and respond to it quickly. So that's just an example, just to illustrate my answer of yes. Once we build out our own API, we're going to be integrating into Zapier, and that basically means that through Zapier, we're now effectively integrated into any product that also is integrated into Zapier. And if anyone has I'd be happy to follow up if you might have a task management tool and you want to ask me if it's integrated into Zapier or not. I'd be happy to check in, but safe rule of thumb is most task management products are integrated into Zapier. Yes.
When would a company need to move to using more Teams features?
When? We don't want to, we're trying to build the team filters feature in such a way that it's entirely optional to use and flexible enough that we want you to make that decision for yourself. I mean, we definitely, the larger a company gets that uses Align, the more often this kind of request comes up. But we have, some of our biggest clients in terms of number of users are very, very adamant about full transparency and a very flat structure, if you will. So some of our biggest accounts, our biggest clients, aren't going to be using this feature. Conversely, we have relatively very small companies, 4, 5, 6 people that, for whatever reason, it's really none of our business, they feel the need that they need to separate out visibility into smaller groups. So again, we're trying to make this flexible enough that we're going to let you make that determination for yourself. It's entirely optional. You'll be able to use the feature if you want, and if you choose not to, it's not going to affect the way you use Align today.
All right. This question asks, our leadership team loves Align, but we are struggling to get team buy-in because they are duplicating efforts. What changes do you have planned to make it easier and more valuable for them to use Align?
In terms of making the case for ease of use, exactly what we've been talking about with task management integrations. We recognize the need to reduce double entry, needing to manage discrepancies between the same information in two systems, et cetera. So in terms of ease of use, our number one focus is task management software integrations. In terms of value, I think was the second half of that question. I really think the value of getting team leadership to get buy-in from everybody else is really going to come from that. I really focus on that bottom-up team contribution focus. So I talked about the team accomplishments feed, which is getting recognition when everyone is contributing and connecting the dots between their day-to-day contributions and company strategy, and also the notifications that go along with it, things like that. And I hear it over and over again. I bet you I have this conversation once a week with someone of, I do not mean this in a negative way, but I'm the IT guy. I'm running around. I have just tasks to do day in and day out. I'm running around to different stores. I know intuitively that what I'm doing is contributing to the company's success, but man, it's hard to get motivated to update my information because I'm not confident that my work is being seen or recognized. So we hear that all the time, and I really think that the team accomplishments feed, more transparency into what everyone else is doing in a positive way is really going to make it a lot easier for team leaders that are already very bought into the strategic growth mentality to get buy-in from the rest of the company.
How do you plan on improving the mobile app?
Yes. We mentioned a couple things throughout, but definitely, spell check and better text entry in the mobile app. Expect that soonish. We're also going to be focused on, I talked a little about notifications. So if you're on the go, the mobile app will be more valuable because you'll be able to get updates on things going on in Align faster via potentially push notifications and also the emailed meeting summaries we've been talking about. And I would say the last area is adding some pieces of functionality that do exist in the web product today into the mobile app. I think one of the most common things we hear is, I like that I can update my priorities quickly in the mobile app, but I want to be able to create fresh priorities from scratch in the mobile app. Like that's something we're going to be very focused on.
Are there any plans for Align in other languages, particularly French or Spanish?
We are exploring that possibility. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, excellent. So there's also been a question about whether the recording of this session will be sent out, and we will be publishing a blog post with the information from the session as well as a recording of the session itself shortly. So that's all the time we have. Thank you for all of your questions. If we didn't answer it, you can expect a response from Joey by the end of the week. We also had a lot of questions about best practices on using these features and implementing good business habits. So for those of you who are looking to learn more about using our software, we plan to do future presentations on best practices. We are also updating the help text and the FAQ section in the app. And additionally, you can always reach out to your Align advisor or email advisor@aligntoday.com to get personalized help with adopting the platform. And for those of you who are not already on Align, you can start a free 21-day trial at any time by going to aligntoday.com. Thank you all for joining and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.